Before we even begin this reading, I need you to pause for just a moment and take a deep breath with me. Because what I'm sensing right now is that this message has been trying to reach you for weeks, maybe even months. And the energy around this reading is so specific, so precise that if you're watching this right now, it's not by accident. Your higher self, your guides, your divine feminine essence, they've been orchestrating this moment. So take that breath, feel into your body right now, and notice what's happening. Is there tension in your shoulders, a tightness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach? Because your body is already responding to this message before we've even begun. I'm getting a very strong sensation as I tune into the energy of this collective reading. And it's the feeling of someone who has been receiving messages from their body for a very long time, but has been trained to ignore them, to override them, to essentially gaslight themselves out of what they're feeling. And this is so specific to the divine feminine energy because we live in a world that has systematically taught women, taught feminine beings, taught those who carry this receptive, intuitive energy that their bodily sensations are not to be trusted, that they're too sensitive, that they're overreacting, that what they're feeling isn't real or isn't valid. But here's what I need you to understand right from the start of this reading. Your body is not lying to you. Your body has never been lying to you. Your body is the most sophisticated, intuitive instrument you will ever possess. And it has been trying to communicate with you through a language that our society has deliberately taught you not to speak. And that ends today. That ends right now with this reading. Now let me get very specific about who this reading is for because the energy here is incredibly precise. This is for those of you who are what we call claircognizant and clairsentient. And I know those might sound like big spiritual words, but let me break this down in a way that will immediately resonate if this is you. Claircognizance means clear knowing. It's when you just know something without being able to explain how or why you know it. And clairsentience means clear feeling. It's the ability to feel and sense the emotions, the energy, and even the physical sensations of other people, places, and situations. One of the clearest signs that this reading is for you is that you are someone who walks into a room and immediately feels the energy there. You can tell if there's been an argument, if someone is upset, if the vibe is off, even if everyone is smiling and acting like everything is fine. Your body picks up on the energetic residue, the emotional imprints, the vibrations that others don't even notice. You're like a human antenna, constantly receiving signals from the energetic field around you. And for your entire life, you've probably been told that this is a weakness, that you're too sensitive, that you need to toughen up. But the truth is, this is your superpower. This is your gift. This is your divine feminine wisdom expressing itself through your physical form. Another sign this is for you. You experience unexplained physical symptoms when you're around certain people or in certain environments. For example, you might suddenly feel nauseous or develop a headache or feel this overwhelming fatigue that seems to come out of nowhere. And medical professionals can't find anything wrong because there isn't anything physically wrong with you. What's happening is that your body is absorbing and processing energetic information. You're picking up on the suppressed emotions of others, the density of certain spaces, the misalignment of certain situations. Your body is speaking to you in the only language it knows, through sensation, through feeling, through what we call somatic wisdom. I'm also getting that many of you watching this have experienced what I call empathic overflow. This is when you feel emotions that aren't yours, but you experience them as if they were your own. So you might be around someone who is suppressing their anger, and suddenly you feel angry for no reason. Or you might be in a crowd and suddenly feel overwhelmed with sadness, even though moments before you were perfectly fine. And here's where the gaslighting comes in. When you express these feelings, when you say something feels off or I'm sensing tension here, the people around you, especially those who are disconnected from their own emotions, will often make you feel like you're being dramatic, like you're imagining things, like there's something wrong with you. But Divine Feminine, listen to me very carefully right now. There is nothing wrong with you. What's happening is that you are operating with a different level of perceptual awareness than most people. Most people in our society have learned to numb themselves, to disconnect from their bodies, to override their intuitive signals in order to function in a world that doesn't honor sensitivity or emotional intelligence. But you haven't been able to do that. Your system won't allow you to do that. And that's not a flaw. That's your design. You are meant to feel. You are meant to sense. You are meant to receive this information. The numbers 3 and 8 are coming through very strongly right now. Also, the numbers 308 or the date March 8th or August 3rd. If any of these numbers or dates resonate with you, that's a confirmation that this message is absolutely meant for you. Spirit uses numbers as a way to get our attention, to let us know we're on the right path, that we're receiving the correct transmission. So if those numbers jumped out at you, pay attention. Now, I'm hearing very clearly from Spirit that there's a deeper layer to this message, and it has to do with what's been happening in your life recently. Specifically, I'm getting that there is a situation or a person in your life right now where your body has been trying to send you very clear signals, but your mind has been resisting. Your mind has been trying to rationalize, to explain away, to create a different narrative than what your body is telling you. And this is creating a split, a dissonance, an internal conflict that is actually making you feel physically unwell. Let me paint a picture of what I'm seeing, and you tell me if this resonates. I'm seeing a situation where on the surface, things appear to be one way. Maybe this is a relationship, a friendship, a work situation, a family dynamic, but on the surface, everything looks fine. The person involved is saying the right things, doing the right things, checking all the boxes. But your body is telling you a completely different story. Your body is tensing up when you're around this person. Your stomach drops when you think about this situation. You feel drained after interactions. You notice yourself holding your breath or feeling like you can't quite relax or let your guard down. And because you're someone with a beautiful, compassionate heart, because you're someone who wants to see the best in people, because you're someone who doesn't want to judge or make assumptions, you've been overriding these signals. You've been telling yourself, maybe I'm being paranoid, or maybe I'm overthinking this, or I don't want to be negative or judgmental. And in the meantime, your body has been screaming at you. Your intuition has been screaming at you. Your divine feminine wisdom has been trying desperately to get your attention. What I'm getting very specifically from Spirit is that you have been experiencing what's called energetic interference with this person or situation. Energetic interference is when someone's unresolved trauma, their suppressed emotions, their unhealed wounds, their ego patterns, when all of that starts to interact with your energy field in a way that creates distortion, confusion, and depletion. And because you're so sensitive, because you're so empathic, you don't just observe this interference. You absorb it. You take it into your own body. You try to process it, to transmute it, to heal it, even though it's not yours to carry. I'm hearing the word enmeshment very clearly right now. Enmeshment is when the energetic boundaries between you and another person become so blurred that you can't tell where their energy ends and yours begins. You start taking on their emotions as if they were your own. You start feeling responsible for their healing, their happiness, their growth. And here's the thing that's so important to understand. This is not love. This is not connection. This is not intimacy. This is enmeshment. And it's actually preventing both of you from experiencing true connection and true growth. Your body knows this. Your body has been trying to tell you this. Every time you feel that tightness in your chest, that's your body saying, this person's energy is too close to mine. Every time you feel that exhaustion, that's your body saying, I'm processing emotions that aren't mine to process. Every time you feel that anxiety or that unease, that's your body saying something in this dynamic is not aligned with my truth, with my well-being, with my highest good. Now I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about why this is happening and what the deeper spiritual lesson is here. Because nothing happens by accident, divine feminine. Every challenge, every difficulty, every uncomfortable situation is actually an invitation to deepen your relationship with yourself, to strengthen your connection to your own inner wisdom, to reclaim your power. What I'm getting from Spirit is that you are currently in what's called a sovereignty initiation. A sovereignty initiation is when life presents you with a situation that requires you to choose yourself, to honor your own needs and boundaries, to trust your own inner guidance, even when it contradicts what others are telling you or what your mind thinks you should do. This is a profound spiritual test, and it's not about the other person or the situation. It's about you learning to be the authority in your own life. It's about you learning to trust yourself more than you trust anyone else's opinion of you or anyone else's version of reality. I'm seeing very clearly that for many of you, the situation is mirroring back to you a pattern that has been with you for a very long time, possibly since childhood. And the pattern is this. You learned early on that in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, in order to be safe, you needed to attune to other people's needs and emotions more than your own. You became hyper vigilant to other people's states, other people's moods, other people's energy. And in the process, you disconnected from your own needs, your own feelings, your own truth. This is the wounded empath pattern. The wounded empath gives and gives and gives, not from a place of overflow, but from a place of believing that their worth is tied to how much they can give, how much they can help, how much they can be there for others. And meanwhile, their own cup is empty. Their own needs are unmet. Their own body is crying out for attention, for care, for nourishment. The beautiful thing about a sovereignty initiation is that it brings all of this to the surface. It makes it impossible for you to continue operating from these old patterns, the discomfort you're feeling, the physical symptoms you're experiencing, the emotional turmoil. All of this is your soul's way of saying it's time for something different. It's time to come home to yourself. It's time to remember who you really are beneath all these learned patterns of people-pleasing and self-abandonment. I'm also getting something very specific about this person or situation that's at the center of what your body has been trying to tell you. I'm hearing the words hidden agenda. And this doesn't necessarily mean that this person is intentionally trying to deceive you or manipulate you, though in some cases that may be what's happening. But more often, what hidden agenda means is that there are unconscious motivations, unspoken expectations, or unacknowledged needs that are driving this person's behavior. And your intuition has picked up on this misalignment between what they're saying and what they're actually wanting or needing. For example, this might be someone who presents themselves as very supportive, very caring, very interested in your well-being, but underneath, what they're actually seeking is validation or emotional labor or a sense of purpose through fixing or helping you. Or this might be someone who says they want a relationship of equals, but unconsciously they're looking for someone to carry their emotional load, to be their therapist, to help them avoid dealing with their own unresolved issues. Your body knows this. Your intuition knows this. And that's why you've been feeling this disconnect, this sense that something is off, even though you can't quite put your finger on what it is. Because the misalignment isn't in what's being said, it's in what's being felt energetically, but not acknowledged consciously. I'm hearing very clearly, trust the whispers before they become screams. This is such an important message. Your body communicates with you in stages. First, there are the whispers, the subtle sensations, the quiet knowing, the gentle nudges. If you don't listen to the whispers, they become louder. They become more persistent. Eventually, if you continue to ignore them, they manifest as physical illness, emotional breakdown, or crisis situations that force you to pay attention. Where are you right now on this spectrum? Are you still at the whisper stage, where your body is giving you gentle signals that something needs to shift? Or have the whispers already escalated into something louder, something more urgent, something that's demanding your immediate attention? Either way, the message is the same. It's time to listen. It's time to honor what your body is telling you. Now let me give you some very practical guidance on how to work with your body's wisdom moving forward, because understanding all of this intellectually is one thing, but actually implementing it in your daily life is another. First and most importantly, you need to start creating what I call body check-in rituals. These are moments throughout your day where you pause, take a breath, and simply ask your body, how are you feeling right now? What are you trying to tell me? I recommend doing this at least 3 times a day. Once in the morning, when you wake up, once in the middle of the day, and once before bed. And here's what's really important. When you ask your body this question, don't immediately try to analyze the answer or figure out what it means. Just notice. Just observe. Just feel. Is there tension somewhere? Is there lightness somewhere? Is there a sensation that wants your attention? Just notice it without judgment, without trying to fix it or change it. The second practice I want to recommend is what I call energetic boundary setting. Because here's the thing, divine feminine. Your empathic, clairsentient abilities are not going to go away, nor should they. They're a gift, they're part of who you are, but you need to learn how to work with these abilities in a way that doesn't deplete you or overwhelm you, and that requires clear energetic boundaries. Energetic boundary setting is about creating a clear distinction between your energy and other people's energy. One simple but powerful practice is to visualize a protective bubble of light around your body before you go into situations where you know you're likely to be exposed to heavy or chaotic energy. See this bubble as a filter. It allows love and positive connection to flow in and out, but it blocks or transforms energy that's not in alignment with your highest good. You can also work with the mantra, I am sovereign in my own energy field. I release anything that is not mine to carry. Say this to yourself out loud or silently whenever you notice that you're taking on emotions or sensations that don't belong to you. This verbal declaration is incredibly powerful because it's a direct communication with your subconscious mind and your energy system, reminding them of the truth of who you are and how you're meant to operate. The third practice is to start journaling about your somatic experiences. Get a notebook, a physical notebook, not your phone, and start documenting what your body tells you. When do you feel contracted? When do you feel expansive? What people, places, or situations trigger certain sensations? What patterns start to emerge? This practice is so valuable because it helps you develop what's called somatic literacy, the ability to read and interpret your body's language with clarity and confidence. Over time, you'll start to recognize your body's unique vocabulary. You'll understand that certain sensations mean certain things. For example, you might notice that a tightness in your throat always shows up when you're in a situation where you need to speak your truth but are holding back. Or you might notice that a heaviness in your chest appears when you're around someone whose energy is draining you. This awareness is powerful because it allows you to respond proactively instead of reactively. Now, I want to address something that I know is probably coming up for some of you as you're listening to this. You might be thinking, but what about compassion? What about being there for others? If I start prioritizing my own needs and boundaries, doesn't that make me selfish? And I want to say this as clearly and as lovingly as possible. No. Setting boundaries and honoring your body's wisdom is not selfish. It's selfful. It's about filling your own cup so that you can show up in the world from a place of genuine overflow rather than depletion. True compassion, divine compassion, includes yourself. In fact, it starts with yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot hold space for others if you haven't first held space for yourself. And here's something that might surprise you. When you start honoring your body's wisdom, when you start setting boundaries, when you start choosing yourself, the quality of your relationships actually improves. Because now you're relating from authenticity instead of obligation, from truth instead of people-pleasing, from power instead of powerlessness. The people who are meant to be in your life will respect your boundaries. They will honor your needs. They will support you in your journey of coming home to yourself. And the people who can't do that, the people who make you feel guilty for having needs or for setting boundaries, those are the people who are benefiting from your self-abandonment. And as hard as it might be to accept, those relationships may need to shift or end in order for you to fully step into your sovereignty. I'm hearing one final message very clearly from Spirit, and it's about the broader purpose of what you're going through right now. This isn't just about this one situation or this one person. This is about a much bigger shift that's happening in your life and in the collective consciousness. The divine feminine is rising. The divine feminine is reclaiming her voice, her power, her truth. And part of that rising involves breaking free from old paradigms of self-sacrifice, of putting everyone else's needs first, of silencing our own intuition in order to keep the peace or maintain the status quo. You are part of this shift. Your journey of learning to trust your body, to honor your intuition, to set boundaries and choose yourself. This isn't just personal healing. This is collective healing. This is ancestral healing. Every time you honor your body's wisdom instead of overriding it, you're breaking a pattern that has been passed down through generations of women who were taught to be small to be quiet, to be accommodating at the expense of their own well-being. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing your lineage. You're paving the way for future generations to come into the world with a different template, a different possibility, a different relationship to their bodies and their intuition. This is sacred work. This is important work. And even though it might feel lonely or scary or uncomfortable at times, know that you are held, you are supported, and you are exactly where you need to be. So here's what I want you to do after this reading ends. I want you to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Take a deep breath and say out loud or in your mind, I honor the wisdom of my body. I trust the messages I receive. I am safe to listen. I am safe to act on what I know to be true. I am sovereign in my own life. Feel the resonance of these words in your body. Feel the truth of them settling into your cells. And then I want you to commit to one small action that honors what your body has been trying to tell you. Maybe it's having a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's setting a boundary you've been afraid to set. Maybe it's creating more space between yourself and the person or situation that's been draining you. Maybe it's simply spending more time alone, in nature, in silence, reconnecting with your own energy. Whatever it is, commit to it. Honor it. Follow through. Because here's the truth, divine feminine. Your body has been speaking to you this entire time. It's been trying to guide you, to protect you, to lead you toward your highest path. And it's time, it's really time to stop ignoring those messages and start honoring them. It's time to trust yourself more than you trust anyone else's opinion. It's time to believe in your intuition more than you believe in other people's gaslighting. It's time to come home to yourself, to your body, to your truth. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Let me know if this reading resonated with you. Let me know what your body has been trying to tell you. Let me know what boundary you're ready to set or what action you're ready to take. Your sharing not only helps me to continue channeling messages that serve you, but it also creates a beautiful web of connection and support among everyone in this community who is on this journey of reclaiming their divine feminine power. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future readings. I channel messages like this regularly, and I would love for you to be part of this journey. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps more people who need this message to find it. And remember, divine feminine, you are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are not imagining things. Your body is speaking to you in the language of sensation, in the language of feeling, in the language of intuitive knowing. And it's time, it's truly time to start listening. Until next time, I'm holding you in love and light as you continue this beautiful journey of coming home to yourself. May you trust your body. May you honor your truth. May you embody the full power and radiance of your divine feminine essence. Blessed be,